how sometimes I am a multitasker even by accident. And this is going to be in relation to just three things I multitask. And we made videos about this before I did, at least particularly clearly. The Olympic Games champion stuff with my sprinting spikes and other stuff, even the shirt I did for in high school that for my best bud that time. So that sprinting is athleticism, right? We can't even include all four. There are just three of these. So athleticism for the sprinting goals as Olympic champion, Olympic Games. That Microsoft Power Apps and claymation. We're working with just those three, okay? And I'm going to explain with just those three how I do multitasking on accent. With the sprinting, it's obvious. Spacing is second nature to me. With power ups, it's not as obvious because it's more like I just don't use the environment as often while paying $20 now this year per month instead of $15 for the discount from the other year I started doing that. And then the kind of little thing was a little different because he didn't include that part in the podcast, but it was like, but it was nice to know that I actually got to talk about that with him, even if it didn't say in the clip that I think I have right now. I think in my clip version of what Kyle posted, it does include the power ups discussion, but it's like, but it does, but the rest of what's actually there is about the real important crap, which is the philosophies I have in life and existence all day, and the beautiful stuff about my life story, really is like the Tony Cashman life story as a whole. And then claymation. Now, of course, you guys, as you know, I have a trauma with quality content. Ooh, I keep playing the blame game with Crymore and other people, and it's like, oh, now my experience with YouTube has changed forever, and even ways to perceive media entertainment. Blah 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 blah. Cartooning died just as easy as claymation. Blah 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 blah. My cartooning and claymation is weird because now, even if I want to produce that kind of content, any of it at least particularly, and I still have intentions to make good claymation over time, not just making claymation that I hope to make at some point. Both the full scale, fuller projects over time, and complete projects, and not just the smaller scale ones, and even tributes and originals, all like songs, opportunities, and social, you name it, with claymation. And the way that I can at least maybe explain compared to power ups in Olympic Games, like without claymation, is that with claymation, it's only been 2 minutes. Damn, I'd explained a lot in 2 minutes. Uh, is that it's been the case that I just genuinely didn't have to try to be a talented claymation animator. I didn't have to try. Trust me. As rapid paced as I am as an animator, as clever I am, minus the polished props thing I keep talking about, and then the frame rate, I am a talented claymation animator without even trying. That's how you know from that core essence alone that for most other things in my life, it's not that I don't put effort into anything. It's not that I procrastinate all the time. It's that it doesn't have to be the case that I am passionate for claymation because I happen to be good at it. Because I wasn't just good at by default. It didn't just come out of scratch. It came from somewhere. But that somewhere wasn't driven by the actual intention to care about it. So if I had to go back one more time to Microsoft Power Apps, it'd be just that I did it on accident because I didn't have to worry about being a computer scientist in the legitimate sense, not even the cliche sense or the prejudice sense. But there you go. That's all I can say about so far. So those three things so far. I'm not ending the video just yet, but those three things so far: the Olympic Games, Power Apps, and claymation. Is that how I do these things on accident for multitasking gestures? And between the two, I could do a Venn diagram between the three of those and be like 2 by 2 by 2, okay, and then all three at the same time. So let's see. Let's do with one of the obvious ones I can do: Power Apps and Olympic Games. Those two, okay. It's obvious, right? Be a nerd and then be an athlete. No, but like seriously, the way that can happen on accident by design is I just genuinely feel like, and this is gonna sound cliche and simple anyways, but stimulating my brain with power ups and then stimulating my body with the spinching and Olympic Games. Sorry, I made that simple, but there you go. There are ways that's invigorating by default. So like even the genuineness of that being simple is good. So power ups with claymation. Both use technology, both use the environment of their design. That's not literal, that's more like, okay, not a little connotation. The environment using a computer to design apps for a business model and literally driving that driven model, canvas, whatever, I do with it, for a business environment and organization, and then still producing claymation in the meantime, if not for that same company, and other things like that. Or even power ups for my own personal reasons, that'd be interesting. Claymation and Olympic Games. I go sprinting to the Olympic Games. I run home with my tired legs to make claymation. It works out though, right? Where at my hand? Okay, where am I? I thought about this before, and even right now in 2024. But like, wearing out my claymation hands after already working out with my leg day, which is every day as a sprinter. So who needs leg day if you're still a sprinter with leg games? Different. So wearing out both the limbs of each 2x2. So different. If that makes no sense, there you go. But yeah, and then finally, claymation. So I said Olympic Games. I think I did say 2x2 didn't I? Did I say claymation power ups? It's like I said that I made that just even more simple than the first one. Okay. Anyways, that's a 2x2, and then all three at the same time: claymation, power ups, and Olympic Games. I stimulate that without a business model, without a STEM approach, without anything like that being a cliche or a pillar or whatever else. It'd be like, and it's still less than 6 minutes. I'm doing this too quickly. If I'm talking quickly, I don't know if that, but damn, it's just 6 minutes so far. Damn. Maybe I am making time work out for some reason. Flexible work. Time is flexible indeed for the most chronological, unconventional flexibilities of all things. Anyways, the Venn diagram being complete at this point, I would just be living my best life. Literally. That's I made this whole video sound simple. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. But like, it's just yeah, it'd be like living my best life. It's like the economies of being multifaceted, multitasking, being truly a generalist in a good way, not being Johnny Appleseed and dividing myself too thinly, divide and conquer the wrong way, or just spread out thin like Johnny Appleseed and being like, I'll try new things and try it all as long as I find my passion. No, instead of that, you know what your passion is cartooning, art, and animation, and artist stuff. And being creative overall and being an actual artist. Being an artist is my literal passion. And I denied that my whole life. Even while knowing that it was still going to be for my own good. But while still, the long story of the short of it is that being an actual artist is not easy. Even just being one by your own genetics, or being an actual artist is not for everybody. So the fact that I'm an artist who wants to be a scientist is a shame in itself, right? If you're an artist and you want to be a scientist, tough luck, because your parents are not Asians for the most part, and even if your parents are my kind, it's like I'm not trying to be ungrateful about that, but if you're like me and you were hard on yourself for not being able to be an athlete or a scientist or a businessman, and you only could be an artist, it's like, yeah, tough luck on that, because literally this is gonna get a few dislikes, but when you have parents even of the Asian culture where it's like you have to be a scientist or a doctor or an engineer and not an artist, flip that over outside, and that's how I grew up. It's like everyone wanted me to be an artist. Even my friends and family and teachers wanted me to be an artist, and I was like, nah, screw that. I'm being forced to be an artist anyways. Screw that. You're turning the creative person off, and he still knows he's creative. So that's not the denial there. But some of it is, right. Some of it's trauma. Some of it's childhood trauma. But like, anyways, the Venn diagram of the economy would be I'd be living my best life. Full stop. Hands down. You name it to begin with in the first place. How creative I am right now, but power apps won't be forever. I think the point of the Microsoft economy of that was not that you could have a computer science, low code, no code environment that will last for the end of time. Not okay. Save the other controversies out the window just for a little bit. The other controversial things about the world in our timeline, save it a little bit longer. I know it gets to that point sometimes. I'm not an idiot, but save it a little bit if you know what I'm talking about. YK. Power apps by itself is genuine by design. You learned how to be truly multifaceted and assemble, plug, and play by the literal life philosophy nature. It's not just a anti-computer science thing. It's a life philosophy. It's like the idea of plug and play being done in a complex way, not just simple, not just complicated. Doing that will help you more than you realize. It'll do that more than just software technology by itself. You do not have to be an Olympic champion to kick ass and be the fastest man in the world and beat the Olympic Games as hard as that may be, because at that point, you don't have to be like a vegan and exercise every single day more than even a real athlete. And I'm not even technically a real athlete myself, blubber and all. But these athlete legs. Remember that last video, the last two, and then blubber and all, and then just kick ass at the Olympic Games and only win the gold medal like 5 years consecutively while you're still in your late 20s or early 30s, like almost like me maybe. And then never exercise for the rest of your life and be like, then just become a nigga caught avocado all of a sudden. You're like, what happened, dude? You were the fastest man in the world for 5 years straight plus, and now you just slowly became avocado just to prove a point. What's wrong with you? Not like that though. And then with my quality content trauma, Can't blame YouTubers. Cannot blame Crime or Gaming. I can't blame those people. I can't. My cartooning and claymation trauma is my own. When it becomes the thing where it's like stop motion animation was a cool thing I did, very simply put, didn't have to take that personally. Where I just could just be grateful for at least that. Full stop. Right? Not worry about what people thought of me, ideas if I had to or not. What would it be? We're still only barely over 10 minutes. I'm not making a joke about this, but like, I could have easily been like 35 minutes, right? And it's only barely over 10 in this full raw recording. But I'm gonna stop making that joke though. I'm sorry, but it's just interesting to me. But you know, it is. But the thing with either cartooning long ago, ways back of preteen or teenage years, starts at preteen years, like when I was age 7, as far as the consciousness is concerned, from taking control of your life, vibrationally speaking, law of manifestation. Mm-hmm. But when you take control of your body on a conscious level, and then you still make those decisions, like I did with the Crowdbots forums and other things in my life, and real life, whatever else, school, etc., etc., and thinking that I didn't have to feel too much fear myself. But with claymation, it's like the trauma with cartooning could be its own thing in the longer years. The claymation wasn't even too recent even then. It was actually almost the same time as cartooning a little bit. A lot of color things clustered between 2018, 2011, even this year 2024, whether I had breaking points or not. Depicting that a little too loosely, and even not at all, or more than I realized. But I'm more interesting than I realized. Actually, I'm more mysterious than I realized. More beautiful as I am than I realized. But was I traumatized by claymation alone to prove that I didn't care about myself or love myself? I don't think so. I think the reason I am literally in particular a jealous, multifaceted multitasker, let alone an extroverted multitasker, isn't because I hate myself. I don't think I hate myself. I always did believe I had confidence and love myself in spite of maybe doing it the wrong way. But never literally give up on myself or even give up on the things I should ever give up on. Literally, there are some things you should give up on in life, but not yourself ever, right? I don't think I spread myself thin like a Magellan spaceship style multitasking thing because I was dividing myself thin to hurt myself. I don't think I did that on purpose like that. Like I think being a journalist was one of the best things I did for my life. Not just to have new experiences, not just to technically deny I was an artist or animator or creative person. I was never truly in denial of being creative. That was a curse either way, but a blessing in disguise if I had to put it like that. But as a philosopher who blends the bridge onto his feet all the time, yeah, I guess it's a little different than that. But because philosophy is abstract in itself, so there's no point calling it abstract philosophy. But whether it be philosophy or vlogging or music or claymation or some other thing like that, any documentation, even science communication for that matter. With the way I communicate, clear and concise, not really. But there's something to be said about even just economies that I just made in this video so far between the Olympic Games and power apps and claymation. Just talking about those three for 30 minutes straight. But claymation already was just that thing where I was like, okay, this is not my passion, and it's not just because I don't literally have a passion for it or talent only in regard to that, but I can stick with it. It is something I keep in the back pocket for a reason. It's not trauma that I can't heal. It's not something that I have a toxic relationship with that I should never heal. But even aside from that, this is gonna sound as controversial as it gets. I think there are some karmic relationships and toxic relationships that deserve to still happen and exist and can be healed. It's not that nothing's impossible so much. That should be already true, hopefully. But even then, it is not time that heals. It is healing that heals. And with regard to half reclamation, it's like, yeah, I could heal over time. Will I ever get past the idea that power-ups is not forever, that claymation is not my real passion, and that the Olympic Games I may never be an actual legitimate gold medalist champion? Who knows? How am I conceding time with power-ups, trauma with claymation, and ambition with the Olympic Games? How am I doing that with a Venn diagram between these three things to prove that I'm a multitasker, an extrovert, multifaceted, generalist, you name it? It's not like I don't know what I'm doing. I try to do everything for a reason. I don't literally do everything without reason, but it's like, if that makes any paradoxical sense. Because obviously everyone makes mistakes and regrets, even people like me. You can't take that forever on my own end. Just because I have that sage wisdom that I happen to have somehow, as a non-judgmental subjective person who prefers to lead more subjectively than anything else, biased or not, to be like that. You don't then take my word for it. Take it with a grain of salt even then. As cliche as that truth is. I don't regret it. I really don't. I'm going to put the end credit maybe 15:30. So 15:10 then. Okay. I don't make these topic videos that I force myself into not being meditative or constantly in a placeholder slice of life kind of thing. I literally just made a post about Wizard's Way Place in the community tab about the slice of life genre being debunked and revolutionized because of a very simple show like Disney's Wizard's Way Place. The fact that you even have a different ending for season 4 is his own thing entirely, but I don't think that was by mistake. I think it's like that director may have got it good being able to at least explain that ending, but the true blessing in disguise is that because there is still a different ending, they get to decide for themselves how their endings work in real life, not just shows. Well, I read the end card, but take care, guys. Bye. Love you guys. Take care. And put that in 1540. Good. Bye bye.